Most commanders want you to protect them. This one wants you to shoot it. Indoraptor, the perfect hybrid, is a 3-mana Jund dinosaur with exactly one job, and the job is getting hurt. Every time damage touches it, a random opponent has to choose. Sacrifice a creature or take a hit equal to Indoraptor's power. So you build a deck full of ways to burn your own board, and every point of self-inflicted damage becomes somebody else's problem. 11,000 players have already sleeved this up. Coming up, the engine, the infinite most lists are one counter away from the real math. And both versions of this deck, the $7 one and the $300 one. Let's read it, because all three lines matter. Bloodthirst X means Indoraptor enters with a +1/+1 counter for every point of damage you already dealt your opponents this turn. Burn the table first, cast the dinosaur second, and 3 mana buys you a monster. Menace makes it miserable to block. And then Enrage. Whenever Indoraptor is dealt damage, choose an opponent at random. Indoraptor deals damage equal to its power to that player, unless they sacrifice a non-decaying creature of their choice. At random. You do not pick the victim, and that one word shapes every card that follows. 11,000 decks for a dinosaur from a Jurassic World crossover. Let's talk about how that happened. Numbers from EDHREC. Indoraptor arrived in the Jurassic World collection in November of 2023, and at first it was a curiosity. 34 new decks in a month. Then it caught. By February of 2025, it was the 96th most built commander in the world. Today it sits nearer 200, but rank is a leaderboard, and leaderboards keep getting new arrivals. Watch the deck count instead. 673 new lists in May alone. This deck did not slow down. Everything around it sped up. 4 builds cover most of them. 718 decks tag it as burn, which is the honest description of what happens at the table. 357 build around +1/+1 counters, because Bloodthirst gives you a head start on all of them. 350 go full dinosaurs and treat Enrage as a tribal mechanic. 232 just call it aggro and start swinging. 4 labels, 1 instinct, point damage at the wrong side of the table and get paid twice. 1 calibration before we build. Of the players reporting a power bracket, nearly 9 in 10 put this deck at 2 or 3. Casual tables, real teeth, not a tournament weapon. And the salt score is a mild 0.7, which for a deck whose whole game plan is edicts and burn feels generous. People do not hate playing against Indoraptor, they just quietly recount their creatures. So how do you hurt your own dinosaur on purpose, over and over, without losing it? Friendly fire. These two are why the deck exists. Pyrohemia, 4 mana and then 1 red at a time, deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. Pestilence is the same card in black. Neither one is a board wipe here, it is a trigger button. Every activation pings Indoraptor, and every ping makes a random opponent give up a creature or eat Indoraptor's power to the face. 68% of lists run Pyrohemia. It is a machine gun with an activation cost. Just remember, you are inside the blast radius too. Rite of Passage is what stops all of this from killing your own board. Whenever a creature you control is dealt damage, it gets a +1/+1 counter. But read the reminder text, because it matters more here than anywhere else. It must survive the damage to get the counter. Hold that thought. Rile is the cheap version of the same idea from the other direction. 1 red mana, 1 damage to your own creature, trample and draw a card. 37 cents to trigger Enrage and replace itself. The support dinosaurs turn 1 trigger into 3. Ripjaw Raptor draws a card every time it is dealt damage, so your Pyrohemia clicks refill your hand. Ranging Raptors fetches a basic land every time, which is ramp wearing a dinosaur costume. And Wrathful Raptors is the multiplier. Whenever a dinosaur you control is dealt damage, that dinosaur throws the same damage at any target that is not a dinosaur. 1 activation with all 3 out is a card, a land, a burn spell and an edict. 2 cheap cards convert Indoraptor's pain into everybody else's. Fear and Lash costs 31 cents, and whenever the equipped creature is dealt damage, it deals damage equal to its power to target player. Target, not random, you finally choose. Pain for All is a 3 mana aura, and whenever the enchanted creature is dealt damage, it deals that much to each opponent at once. 1 ping, with both of these attached, and Indoraptor answers 3 separate ways. And once you have this many triggers watching one creature, somebody was always going to break it. Blazing Sunsteel. 2 mana equipment gives Indoraptor +1 power for each opponent, and whenever the equipped creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target, including itself. So you damage Indoraptor once, Sunsteel bounces that damage straight back into it, which triggers Sunsteel again, and every lap is one more enraged trigger. Around 1700 decks across EDHREC run this pair. Except there is a catch, and it is the best rules lesson in the deck. Indoraptor is a 3/1, toughness 1. The first point of damage you bounce back is lethal, so the loop dies before it starts. Rite of Passage does not fix that alone either. It must survive the damage to get the counter, remember. What you need is Rite of Passage plus at least one counter already on the Dinosaur, from Bloodthirst or Riot of Rhythm of the Wild. Then toughness grows as fast as the damage stacks, and it never ends. That is the machine. Now let's open it up and count every part. The average list runs 35 lands and an average mana value of 3.02, and the shape is exactly right. 19 cards at 2 mana, 18 at 3. That is the pocket this deck lives in. Cast Indoraptor on turn 3 with a ping still held up, or double spell on 4. Only 10 cards cost 5 or more. Low, mean and fast enough to punish a slow table. Here is the split, and it surprised me. 22 creatures. That is thin for a deck that wants a dinosaur on board, and it tells you the truth about the archetype. 15 sorceries and 11 instants, plus 8 artifacts and 8 enchantments carrying the repeatable damage. This is not a tribal deck wearing a burn costume. It is a burn deck with a dinosaur as its win condition. So how often does the engine show up? I counted 12 cards in the average list that can point damage at your own Indoraptor on demand, from Pyrohemia down to a 35-cent tear swipe. 61% of opening hands have at least one. By turn 3 you are at 74%. Lands are the shakier half. 35 lands only gets you 3 or more in 48% of opening 7s, which is why 12 ram pieces are in here. Enough spreadsheet. Here is what an actual game with this thing looks like. Turn 1, a mana dork, Ignoble Hierarch or Jur-Tar Druid, which pings every opponent each time you tap it. Turn 3 is the turn that matters. With the dork you have 4 mana, so you cast Bolt Wave first. 3 damage to each opponent, 9 damage across a 4-player table, and then Indoraptor lands with Bloodthirst counting all 9. A 3 mana creature entering as a 12/10 with Menace. Turn 5, Pyrohemia, and every red mana you leave open is an Edict. Turn 7 you find the equipment, or you just attack. That is the good news. Now the invoice, because this dinosaur is not cheap. The average Indoraptor list runs $358 and the commander alone is 24 of that. A Jurassic World crossover card with no cheap reprint. But look where the rest goes. $98 of the total is the mana base. Fetches and shocks and triple lands you can swap for tap lands without changing one thing the deck does. Only 1 in 10 builders reports a budget list. Because here's the punchline. 16 of the cards doing the real work cost altogether $6.94. Fiendlash, 31 cents, is the budget Blazing Sunsteel and arguably the better card, since it aims at players. Requiem Monolith, also 31 cents, taps to give Indoraptor draw that many cards whenever it is dealt damage, then politely offers to deal it 1 damage right there. A ping and a draw engine stapled together. 3 more, all under 50 cents. Jur-Tar Druid ramps you and chips every opponent every turn, quietly stocking Bloodthirst before the commander shows up. Raging Regisaur deals 1 damage to any target whenever it attacks, and yes, you may point that at your own Indoraptor mid-combat. Scytheclaw Raptor hits any player who casts a spell on somebody else's turn for 4, that includes you, so hold your instance or accept the tax. And if money is not the constraint, here is where the dollars actually buy damage. Solphim Mayhem Dominus, $27, doubles all non-combat damage you deal to opponents and their permanents. Every Enrage trigger, every Pyrohemia click, every Bolt Wave, doubled. In a deck built out of non-combat damage, that is a win condition. Repercussion is the other half. Whenever a creature is dealt damage, Repercussion deals that much to that creature's controller. Pair it with Blasphemous Act already in half of these lists, and 13 damage to every creature becomes 13 damage to every player who owns one. 2 more worth the money. Mithril Code flashes in, attaches to Indoraptor for free and grants Indestructible. Best protection in the deck and the clean answer to that toughness problem. Blazing Sunsteel plus Indestructible is infinite with no third card. And then Caltrops. 3 mana, 1 damage to each attacking creature, printed as an uncommon in 1999, and today it costs $22 because Enrage decks bought every copy. That is the engine, the math and the money. One last look at the whole 99. Here is the full average list straight out of 11,000 decks. Pause if you're brewing along. Notice how few of these are just generically good magic cards. Almost everyone deals damage, survives damage or gets paid when damage happens, and the exceptions are ramp. That is a clean deck for a commander this strange. Swap the fetches for tap lands, cut the code in the Dominus if the budget says so, keep the 12 ways to hurt your own dinosaur. Most commanders want you to protect them. Indoraptor wants you to pull the trigger, and then it makes somebody else decide what that costs. 16 cards, $7, and one very unlucky random opponent. If you are sleeving this up, tell me which damage source you are adding. I'm EDHREC. Subscribe for the next deck tech and aim carefully, or don't. It picks the target anyway.